Hey folks, what's happening? What's happening, Roland? Well, today is Friday. It's the middle of actually it's Friday the 9th. It's right after Pearl Harbor Day, and no, it's December 9th. It's Friday, December 9th, and boy, I tell you what, some neat stuff happened this week. This is really a neat week. Okay, first of all, today, let me just tell you what happened today. Come over to the boat. I had the neatest time. I wanted to do a YouTube on how to flip and pitch. And I took this rod. Well, one rod broke. I broke this rod. I had a big old 5 or 6 pound bass on. I flipped into the hyacinth and I set the hook real hard, broke that rod. Then I rigged up this other rod. Let me just show you what I'm rigging. I don't have that one rigged up either. Anyway, I have a big crawl worm, big 2 ounce weight. I was going along the hyacinths and pitching. I caught about a 7.5 pounder. I caught a 6 pounder. I caught a 5 pounder. I caught a 3 pounder. I caught all kind of fish today, flipping and pitching it. Game on. Now that's my forte. See, I'm a power fisherman. I mean, you see me fishing shiners, you see me fishing Cincos, and you see me fishing a spinnerbait. But my number one deal, the number one success I've had as a professional fisherman, the number one success I've had in tournament wins has been with a flipping stick, pitching and flipping, pitching and flipping. Okay, I want to get the horizon nice and heaven. Okay, now that's the first thing I did. Now, also this week, I also had some guide trips, and I had some great shiner fishing going on, and the shiner fishing is red hot. Now, 2 days, 3 days ago, they were still pumping water at the what they call Farm 13. That's the Stick Marsh Farm 13 complex. The water was coming in from Garcia. Boy, we were taking shiners, we were taking big Carolina rigs, we were taking chatterbaits, we were taking topwater. We were just catching 30, 40, 50 bass by about 10 o'clock. And then I would go over into, I'd load the boat up and go just 2 miles down the road and go into the headwaters lake. I'd have a bunch, about 4 or 5 dozen shiners, and I'd hit some of my shiner holes for some of my bigger 7 and 8 pound bass. Anyway, that happened 2 or 3 days. But in the middle of the week, hey, let me just show you what happened. I went deer hunting. I went up to Dalton, Georgia. I had a really good friend of mine. His name is James Garner. And James and his son Tucker had fished with me on 3 different occasions back when Tucker was 12, back when he was 14, and now he's 15. He's also on the high school fishing team, and he's up at Bainbridge, Georgia right now today, getting ready for the big Seminole tournament for the high school championship for Florida. And my granddaughter, Hillary Martin, that's my son Scott's daughter, Hillary, I hear you I talk about her a lot. She's fishing the very same tournament. They're in the very same league together. There's like 200 or 300 of these high school kids fishing the tournament at Seminole this weekend. But anyway, James and Tucker and I deer hunted all week. Well, 3 days. And so what happened was James, the first day, a big old 8-point buck came into his stand. Boom, he shot it. Well, a nice little doe came into my stand, and he said, if you want to shoot a doe, I can shoot it. I didn't want to shoot the doe. So I didn't. The next day, I had a nice 8-point buck come into my stand, but it was kind of a narrow rack thing, and I had a crossbow. I put the crossbow up on it. I looked at the doe, at the deer, at the buck, and I said, it's not a trophy. You know, I've shot bigger deer. I don't need to eat. I don't need the meat. You know, it's just, I'd like to have a big trophy. I'd like to have a 160, for example, because I've never killed a 160. I've killed a 150 something. So anyway, I wanted a bigger deer, and so I didn't shoot. And then another deer yesterday morning, I had another deer come in, and it was another 8-pointer came right underneath my stand. I had my crossbow right on it, and I looked at it, and I looked at the rack sticking out like this, and he was just right there below me. But again, I figured, well, he's not quite big enough. So again, I passed it. So when you pass on these deer and you say that's not big enough, or you're going to just wait for another day, that's an accomplishment in itself. That to me is the hunt. I mean, whether I shoot the deer or not, I don't have to kill the deer. I'd like to have a big trophy. Yeah, maybe if a monster deer. But it's not just killing deer that counts. It's just the hunt. It's the hunt. And it's being with James Gardner. He's also a pastor, and so he has some stories about all the things that he's been doing in his pastoral services. with all his parishioners in his church, and we've had a great time. We really had a good time. And let me just tell you, this is also Christmas shopping week. And let me just show you what I'm doing with my Christmas shopping. Let me just show you real quick. I have my deal right here. You know, I was talking about the turkey calls we have. The turkey calls, by the way, I did like 300 turkey calls so far this year. And here's another one. Let me just talking about. I've done a total of 300 turkey calls. Just recently, I did about 25 of these turkey calls, and this is actually a piece of walnut I got from Central Missouri from Ronnie Curry's farm. This is a piece of butternut that I got from Johnny Morris's property years ago. And I built like 30 or 40 of them just this last couple of weeks, and I sent them out for Christmas, all the Christmas. It's too late now to get one. But here's the deal. I know it's a little bit, Christmas is still coming up a couple of weeks away, but I probably won't get them to you in time. And even though I have them ready to go, if you want a good turkey call and something that's really, really perfect Neil Cost replica that just really, really calls the turkey, you need to order them. And how you order this call, and it's really an exquisite turkey call. It's like after the season Christmas gift to yourself. But turkey season comes up in the spring. You have to get on the website and order them on Judy M at fishingwithrolandmartin.com. That's Judy M at fishingwithrolandmartin.com. $200. Okay, that's good. Listen to that. That's a neat call. So between my deer hunting and my turkey hunting, that's keeping me a little bit busy. But hey, I'm gonna tell you what, the bass fishing was wide open today. I mean, when you go pitching and flipping in the high, and the big moment was, I had taken my flipping stick, and I'd taken that big crawworm and I threw into this. There was like a willow bush growing into the weeds, and it went down, bam, about a 5-pound bass got it, and I jacked him out of there. Boy, he came flying out of there, and I had it flopped on the boat. Boy, I picked him up, big old nice 5-pound bass, and I said, maybe there's another one in there. Maybe that's a big old bunch of roots and stuff. Those willow trees grow down underneath the hyacinths. So on the second pitch in there, I flipped in there, and a giant hit. It was an absolute gorilla, about over 7 pounds, possibly almost 8 pounds, and he got all wrapped up in the thing. So I tied the willow tree on the boat, and I tried to back the boat out, and I pulled these things up. I finally reached down. I got all wet, and I finally reached the bass. It was all hung up in a million logs and limbs and stuff all underneath the water, and I got a big old bass, giant trophy bass. So how many minutes? So about 8 minutes? Yeah, I like to do these 8-minute videos. It's kind of a cool deal. Yeah, I do a YouTube for on what's happening, Roland, for 8 or 9 or 10 minutes, and I try to talk about the techniques that I use for the week. And basically, the technique this week was, of course, a little bit of shiner fishing in the headwater deal, and but the moving water quit running yesterday. So when I got down after the deer hunt today, I was going to go to the farm 13 to go to the moving water, because that's a really hot deal when they're pumping that water. They'd shut it off yesterday, so I didn't go to the moving water. That's why I went to flip. Took the flipping sticks and did all the flipping in the hyacinths and the heavy hydrilla on the edge of the Headwaters Lake, and it really paid off. That was just a fantastic day fishing on the water. So anyway, I've had a busy week. Next week I have Christmas shopping, and I'll be back over to Headwaters. I have 2 or 3 guide trips as well. There won't be any moving water, so I'll probably concentrate a whole lot on pitching and flipping. That's a big deal. And on shiner fishing, we catch some of the bigger bass now that it's cool weather, water temperatures back down in the 70s. Some big old shiners on some 8 and 10 pound bass. That's going to be a good deal. And the worm fishing is always a big deal. You know, the Cincos and even the Chatterbaits are still a big viable combination here on Headwaters Lake. Hey, so folks, I hope I've enlightened you into a good Christmas spirit. I hope you buy a turkey call as one thing, but hey, if nothing else, come on down to Florida and enjoy some of this great weather that we have. Enjoy some of the great fishing we have at Headwaters at Lake Okeechobee. at Farm 13, all these wonderful places that we fish right now. And I'll try. Listen, if you stop in at Fellsmere, it's called Fellsmere Headquarters now. They've kind of changed the name around. And Pat, uh, uh, huh? Pat Kelly. Pat Kelly is his name, and he's a great guy. He's going to help you out, and he's going to tell you all about where to go. One thing we do when people show up at the front door and come into the tackle shop, we tell them where to go. We give them the right lures. We have a fishing report that's current. We show them on the map on the 5 or 6 lakes that are available to fish, and we'll put you on good fish. If you come down here between myself and Pat and whoever the other guides are that are there around Mike, Captain Mike, and Kenny, all sorts of guys, we will show you and point out on a map just exactly where to go, and hope that you catch some good fish. So anyway, that's what's happening this week. That's what's happening, Roland. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon. Okay.